At David Security here, coming at you with EXPATS, where we strive to empower you with security awareness. Today is Saturday, September 26, 2015, and this is a three-part series on hotel security. So this is part one here. And the object of this series is to empower you with the right security awareness so that next time you stay at a hotel, you feel empowered and not anxious. All right. Now, in this video, we will bring you up to speed with the current situation here in Tunisia as it relates to hotels and tourism. And we're going to offer you a few tips that you can implement so that you can address the current challenges here and empower yourself. All right. So I recently had the opportunity to visit a hotel at the Golden Tulip, and I just had a chance to talk to the staff there, had a chance to enjoy the facilities and whatnot. And I also felt, hey, you know what? I want to share this information to expats because I know, and travelers, because I know the people are thinking about going to hotels and so forth. And there's a lot of scary stuff on the news. So here's some practical tips that are going to allow you to not only understand the situation here, but also how can you empower yourself. All right. So let's go to here to just start off with this article here. So The Guardian has a good piece on, it's entitled, Tourists Desert Tunisia After June Terror Attacks. And it talks about that the tourist industry here in Tunisia has basically collapsed. All right, that's pretty dramatic, but it's not far from the truth. They point out that the British numbers of tourists have dropped 90%. That's pretty amazing. But they also highlight that the attack, the government has gone on to declare a state of emergency. So this state of emergency has helped in many ways, but it also points out the challenges that Tunisian government still faces. So one of the people they quote in the article is a gentleman by the name of David Thompson, and he's a Paris-based terrorism expert. And he talks about how, although they cannot say that Tunisia has done nothing, because it has struck the jihadis, but he says here in the article, but they didn't manage to eradicate the threat. And the reason why they didn't manage, he points out, is because the threat and the chaos really comes from neighboring Libya, where Tunisian authorities have virtually no power or ability to control. So good points here by David Thompson, and a good article to read as well. But not all is doom and gloom, folks. So this article here points out that support for tourism is being it's a high priority here. And the minister said that the crisis is a national crisis. So all Tunisians, for those of you who do not know, Tunisia traditionally, 15% of the economy depends on tourism. So it is a very important thing here. And when you see these empty hotels and you see the numbers of hotels that are closing, it is more than alarming. It's actually rather sad to see. But not all is doom and gloom. I mean, 4 million tourists have visited Tunisia since early September. 4 million. That's down 1 million. So, again, there are concerns. But 4 million people have looked at the situation and decided to visit Tunisia. I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying those are the numbers. So what we're going to do here in this video is we're going to use some of the information given by Stratford on advice for travelers. All right. So this information Stratford offers for travelers, people who visit and use hotels in so-called third world countries or countries where the security situation is a bit challenging, and just general advice as well. So that's what Stratford offers. And I got to say, some of the information there is, while it's practical, some of it is over the top and will just defeat the purpose of you going to a hotel anyway. If you're going to be in a paranoid state and you're not going to be able to relax, it's really no point to go to a hotel anyway. So what we're going to do is try to offer you some practical advice here. Now, before we get into the tips, we want to share with you that you should take a moment to look at our personal security series. Empower yourself with those 4 building blocks: mindset, situational awareness, understanding your environment, and reacting to danger. Those 4 building blocks are really going to be your foundation to not only your personal security, but also your confidence while you're out and about. Now to these tips, all right? First tip here is before you get there. Do your homework, plan your trip, research the hotel, okay? Tap into your network, tap into your social media, tap into your circle. Ask people about the hotel and so forth. So that homework, that pre-planning is the key. before you get there. Well, having that information is going to give you the confidence to go out there, and it's also going to prepare your whole trip and make sure that you're out there with a purpose. That's number one. Number two, while you're there, okay, your number one threat is really safety issues, okay? So I know that terrorism makes the news, but safety issues is your number one threat. Probably your number one threat is going to be driving there, all right, or just transportation in general. I wouldn't say threat, I would say more like challenge, okay? Fire is also something to consider. These things get little consideration, but statistically they're more likely to happen. So take a moment to physically walk the exit routes of your room, get to know the hotel, all right? Have a designated safe haven. These are practical things that you can do. Be mindful of your surroundings and get to know the staff. All right, these are very practical tips that you can easily do so you can enjoy your stay at a hotel. And it also do a lot to address any nerves or concerns that you may have. All right, so these are tips that you can implement. Feel free to comment or let us know if you have a specific question. On our next video, we'll address more serious risks and share with you ways to mitigate them. We'll also share with you some hotels that we think have a good security setup and we've gotten good feedback about. All right, so that's it for now. And remember to empower yourself with security awareness so that you can get out there and thrive. Thank you.
Yeah.